Hey, what's going on YouTube? Storm here with another deck profile for you guys today. Today I'm profiling the Hero Traptrix for the new format. Now, obviously, we did lose 2 copies of Rhoda, but nevertheless, we're gonna go ahead and just do what we always do: trudge on and make the adjustments. So, hey guys, first off, 3 copies of Shadow Mist is probably obviously the best card in the deck. It allows you to search anything when it's sent to the graveyard, and when it's special summoned, it searches a mass change spell. Really good card. 2 copies of Elemental Hero Bubble Man. Bubble Man is in a build like this where I'm not XYZing as much as summoning Mass Heroes or fusioning. It gets really cloggy at 3, so you run 2. And then 1 copy of Alias. I know a lot of players have been cutting this card, but I still like Alias because I like having, a larger volume of search targets. Wiskoga is still a pretty decent card. And last 2 hero monsters, 2 copies of Elemental Hero Blazeman. I've really been surprised about how many plays this card actually opens up in the deck, like in testing. Like, it opens up an insane level of awesome plays. Like, if you open with this and a Mass Change spell, but no way to search Shadow Mist, you can normal dump Shadow Mist, Mass Change, still make Dark Law first turn. Absolutely amazing card. Love the card. And then 2 copies of Tin Goldfish is going to be my second Tin Goldfish in the future. Tin Goldfish is a really good card. Now that Rhoda got hit to 1, I feel like Goldfish is a little bit better than Goblinberg. First off, it's a water attribute, which means you can make a Dweller with it. But the second thing, people don't even run Goblinberg in the OCG because it misses timing via Stratos. Stratos misses timing with Goblinberg, but it doesn't with Tin Goldfish. So this is a pretty decent card. It's kind of the Goblinberg replacement. Then 2 copies of Summoner Monk. I know a lot of people have been bumping this down to 1, but I still like to see Summoner Monk playing a fair volume of spells and being able to instantly go into Shadow Mist, maybe ditch some of your dead spells in hand is never a bad thing. In the Traptrix, 2 copies of Myrmilio. The format keeps going where it is with all the Pendulum Link summoning and Cosmos being a thing. I might bump this to 3 and start main decking Time Space Trap Holes, but for now it's there at 2. Then lastly, 1 copy of Thunder King Raiho. I'm kind of iffy on this card going forward because in a Necros and Search Heavy format, this card is amazing, but with Necros and being dead, outside of Magic Specters, this card is just not that great, but still pretty decent in my opinion. Now it's all the monsters for the spells. First 2 copies of Forbidden Lance. Lance is probably a hero staple in my opinion because you got to keep your Dark Lodge from getting Dark Hold. It's a card you just don't want to see, so that's why Lance is in here. And then 2 copies of MST with the Myrmilios and the powerful burst I run. I find the 2 MSTs kind of yellow number. If Pendulums become more of a thing, this will definitely go 3. And 2 copies of Polly. I feel like Polly's a really good card. Obvious reasons. If you fuse with Shadow Mist, you get the +1. I think this card is pretty good. Obviously, it's search it with Blazeman. Then for unfortunately the 1 Rhoda and the 3 E-Calls. With Rhoda at 1, that's one of the reasons why Goblinberg got cut from the list. But E-Call basically replaces it. You're running, so I feel like kind of self-explanatory. Now for the Mass Change spells, 3 copies of Mass Change and 2 copies of Form Change. Obviously, I don't run Mass Change second because that card is not good in Heroes, but it's meant for other decks. But 3 Mass Change is pretty standard. The 2 Form Change because at 3 it gets really, really cloggy. 1, you'll never see it, so 2 is kind of the yellow number. You can also pitch it with Summoner Monk if it's dead in your hand. And 2 copies of Mass Charge. Normally, a lot of hero players bump this to 1 or don't run it at all. I like it at 2 because I run a lot more Mass Change spells, so it kind of just makes sense. And then for the traps, 2 Fiendish Chain. Even though I still like Fiendish Chain in this deck, even though Exciton is gone because this card was an absolute must in Heroes with Exciton being a thing. This might be changed for Breakthrough Skill going forward and when we get Infinity, but for now, Fiendish is in here. And then for the Traptrix targets, 2 copies of Bottomless and 1 copy of Bottomless and 2 of Time Space Trap Hole. Bottomless is good against a lot of Pendulum decks that aren't Magic Specters, and Trap Hole Nightmares is actually a pretty decent card, although this is probably going to be changed out for Time Space Trap Holes, because I'm going to do a card discussion on the card. I feel like Time Space Trap Holes is going to be great this format. And last 3 traps, 3 copies of Powerful Rebirth. I'm still a little iffy on this card. I've been in testing. It was actually pretty decent in theory when I took the deck to regionals and did some testing. In theory, it was pretty good when Shaddoll Dragon hit my back row. I could chain Powerful Rebirth and keep my monster. I'm kind of iffy on the card, but nevertheless, I think in theory it's pretty decent. And being able to bring back Shadow Mist and keep looping your stuff is always nice. Then for the extra deck, with two copies of Master Hero Dark Law. I know a lot of Hero players like 3. I don't find it necessary. I like the 2, because I don't think you really should need more than 2 personally. But this is my take. And then 1 copy of Anki. Anki's probably, I think, the best piece Heroes could be given, because it's another, you can make a Shadow Mist, and it allows you access pretty much your entire staple of Masked Heroes, which is really nice. Then 1 Koga. Koga's really good against a lot of decks that spam, because it gets bigger the more your opponent spams the board. So that's really nice. And then 1 copy of Master Hero Acid. Acid's basically, this is your Harpy Feather Duster. When it's special summon, blow up all spells and traps opponents controls. Back this up with a Lance, and all their spells and traps are going. And with Dark Law out, it gets even better, because their stuff gets banished. So, and then the next Master Hero is 1 copy of Divine Wind. This card would obviously be a lot better if we had Stratos, but I like that it's kind of a balance between offensive and defensive. First off, every time it runs over a monster, destroys it since it's the graveyard, draw a card. It cannot be destroyed by battle, and your opponent can only attack with 1 monster during each battle phase. So it's actually a really good card. I don't find myself making it all the time, but it's a pretty decent generic thing to go into. And the last one, of course, is 1 Master Hero Dion. This one, like Anki and Divine Wind, it gets an effect when it destroys opponent's monster by battle, and since it's the graveyard, it allows you to special summon a hero monster from your deck. So you can special summon Shadow Mist, search Mass Change, and then keep it. It's basically, it's an OTK enabling card if played correctly. Now for our poly targets, 1 copy of Elemental Hero Gaia. In future builds, this might be bumped down. This might be cut entirely. The neat thing you can do with Gaia is you can form change a Gaia into a Dark Law, which is kind of a neat little combo. I'm kind of iffy on the card going forward, though. This might be a second Absolute Zero in the future, with Goblinberg being cut and Tinglefish now being in the deck. And then 1 copy of Absolute Zero. Like I said, this card may be bumped to 2 since I have a lot more. I have more water targets than Earths now. And then lastly, 1 copy of Elemental Hero Novacaster. Card is really dang good. The fact no matter how it runs over the monster, you get to draw the card is really nice. And then for the rank 4s, 1 copy of number 80. I'm a little iffy on this card going forward, because obviously it's not that great against Pendulum decks, but I still think it's pretty decent against decks like Infernoids or decks that kind of rely on the graveyard. Then, of course, 1 copy of Abyss Dweller. We run a ton of waters, and being able to have 1 more way to turn off the graveyard is really nice. Plus, it bumps up your Absolute Zeros, and it gets strong. So if you have Dweller and Ab-Zero out, Ab-Zero also has the effect where it bumps up your other water monsters. So this will be at 27, and your Ab-Zero will be at 3k, which is pretty nice. Then 1 copy of Kistel. Kistel is probably the best rank 4 in the game right now. If you're probably if I took any of my decks to regionals, I'd probably run 2 of this. And then 1 copy of Champion Excalibur. Even with Towers gone, I still like this card. It's an OTK enabler, gets you over a lot of beefy monsters. So, and then lastly, 1 copy of Karen Gorgon. Love this card in this deck because it keeps my Dark Laws from getting Fiendish, Breakthrough, takes the Breakthroughs for me, takes the Fiendishes for me. I don't have to worry as much about it. It's another card to protect my Dark Laws. So, anyway, guys, as always, I'd like to thank you guys for watching the video today. I really appreciate when you guys watch my videos. Tune in on Tuesday, Thursday, and Fridays for more Yu-Gi-Oh! Content. If you like what you saw from this video, please subscribe. This is Orstorm, signing out.